In 1816, Robert Finley of New Jersey organized the Society for the Colonization of Free People of Color of America, or ACS, American Colonization Society, to encourage the support of migration of free black Americans back to the continent of Africa. It was his and their belief that the ACS could right the wrong of taking Africans from their homeland to enslave them. What better way for correction than to return them back to the continent of Africans, where they could enjoy more equal opportunities than was available in America? Sounding like a viable option for a better life, some white and black leaders supported the establishment of Liberia and immigration to the British colony of Sierra Leone. Some black American leaders like Frederick Douglass, Sojourner Truth, William Wells Brown, and James Forten strongly opposed the Back to Africa movement. James Forten was a black man born free in 1766 in Philadelphia. He was a very successful businessman, a master ship sailmaker who employed both black and white workers. Forten worked hard, and by age 40, he was able to devote both time and money working for causes he believed in. Though never a slave, he was dedicated to the abolition of slavery and gaining civil rights for blacks. Forten consistently pointed out the severe levels of discrimination against blacks in Pennsylvania and in the North in general. With few exceptions, black citizens could not vote or serve on juries. In 1801, Forten was among the signers of a petition to the United States Congress calling for the abolition of the slave trade and the modification of the Fugitive Slave Law of 1793. Therefore, when confronted by the plans of the ACS, Forten lifted his voice for the people to have a say in determining their fates in the colonization movement back to Africa. Black leaders wanted to know how black citizens felt about this movement. In 1817, Forten, Reverend Richard Allen, and several other leaders called a meeting at Bethel African Methodist Episcopal Church in Philadelphia. This meeting drew 3,000 attendees. They put the ACS issues before them. At this time in the history of blacks in America, most free and slave had been born in the United States. While return to the continent you came from, where everyone is black, should have had some appeal. In most cases, American slaves had lived for generations in the United States and knew very little about Africa. Many were no longer pure Africans, but of mixed race. After hearing the pros and cons of returning to Africa, Forten called for a vote. Who favors colonization and moving to another land? Not one man said yes. When Forten asked who was against it, the crowd resounded with loud "No!" that made the hall ring. All claimed the United States as their own and wanted to gain their full civil rights here as citizens. They loudly affirmed black Americans' claim to a stake in the United States of America.